Political updates.
The opposition, the people are using them will celebrate. And Museveni cannot allow this. So, even the judges are just fulfilling your obligations.
Okay.
And even in none, that if Abaganda, tutwala abana baffe ku nsiko. Even in none, tumutwala you.
Of course.
Omuntu atayina ngatto anaaba ebigere bwamala obina banalinya mu ttaka. This is what you are doing. A corpus is cleaned, but ng'ekolaga mu ttaka. Kakati baabalamuzi bakoze roolo yaabwe. Formality. But they know, you never be released. They are powerful, these boys. You see, for us, for us, Baganda, we are lucky. These people fear intellectual Baganda like me. Because you look what all of those that have used it, damned. These are not educated Baganda. They use Segirinya, Kabuke, Tujakakwata, Kurmia Tulikwata. Segirinya, Yadese Motoka. Segirinya, Adese Fire Brigade. Segirinya, Adese Vitanda. Segirinya, Adina land.
Never be easy.
And inflating you. The mafia is inflating you. Do you think by a cattle keeper like me to castrate a cow, a bull, am I helping it not to mount going cows? They fatten you, Segirinya, Segirinya. Kakati abo baba kutte chuma chaba kutte. Eracho volaba. When Segirinya failed to get out, Jesus, if Jesus did not resurrect it, wouldn't be believing in resurrection. Even Nabi Muhammad Yagamba Yagena Muguru, Narabayo Musa, he talks about heaven. His narration is more detailed than Jesus, who came from heaven. Kakati baba kutte. Wamazo bakwata besi you know doing in normal countries Bessie would have been arrested with his band because his intention was to provoke the tear gas. Kakata after when I hit at Bessie disappeared like gonorrhea. They are now targeting transport. And why? Kankusomera kataboka. Dachika zange sigadde.
Nsoma tolabe.
Gwe tofaayo. Mbalaba nti engege hino. I wrote this book because for me, whenever I see something, I go back to my library. I've written on everything in this country because I'm seeing a replica. I'm seeing a Nigerian.
Musisi might have
with date.
Nakuzo mwezi 19 July 2012.
Tozanyesanga mutwe gwe. Nakugamba. It is a non-political science principle that a setback is good and the success after success is bad. When you suffer a setback, you go back and ponder over it, leading to a solution. However, success after success creates confidence, and one takes many important things for granted. In politics, an institution must operate like a living thing. It must assimilate, adapt, and discard. The religious institutions know this very well. However, for any religious institution to survive, the changes should not erode or undermine the core values. Otherwise, it turns into something else. If a woman applies cosmetics to the extent that her husband does not recognize her, then the cosmetics have not achieved their objective. The role of the cosmetics would be to provide more beauty, but at the same time retain the original features of the woman. Setbacks helps to awaken up people. They are like warning bells in a car or backing doors. If one responds in time, the damage done is little. However, if an organization rejects or government ignores the warning bells, then the enemy eats up the organization or government. Even where their treatment for a particular disease, early detection is very important for its treatment. Like human beings, political organizations and governments are attacked by their enemies on a daily basis. It's the level of early detection of an organization that saves it from its enemies. The institution or government should create an early warning mechanism as well as a quick response one in order to survive. Political institutions and governments suffer from what you call political inertia. They develop weaknesses. They are like human beings who have to observe a high level of hygiene to avoid falling sick. Furthermore, political institutions are like human beings who must ensure self-preservation. Once a human being succumbs to death, then it ends its living cycle. If a political institution or government loses the political preservation, it dies like a human being whose defense systems succumbs to diseases. Finally,
yes, sir.
And more important, political organizations must have detective systems to check the internal enemies and external ones. Intrigue is a very important weapon that internal enemies use to sabotage. You must work like me. I have my mission Mirundi internal security organization. I've infiltrated all those sectors. I've infiltrated criminal gangs. This is why 2 weeks ago, you go to Okero House and ask whether I did not surrender their vehicle. And I said, I can only be driven by a security, a military police soldier. I even alerted my friends in the military police that I need a driver from military police, the people I trust, or army. Is it not true that I impounded all of my taxi cars? Is it not true that I've been using private cars?
You have.
How can I, an individual, detect that the transport is going to be attacked when you saw and military that are funded, are pampered, have nothing to show?
Kino ekya success to success kyosomyeko kikulu nnyo. Obadde ogamba government yefunye success to success oba abali mu security.
The setbacks. In any government, if it was not part of government, if security was not involved for money, this would be a success.
Okay. Nkufunye awe.
Naye kakati bwe kye bagenda okukola. Enzige bwe zajja baatubuulira Lwamirama. One day Lwamirama had the audacity of telling us that government had incurred an outstanding debt of $3 million that must be cleared. And I was seeing Mukula somewhere, panicking like a kid who has suffered from diarrhea. Ngakankana. Yes, Mukula. Yagenda ngali nyenye naganti emiramba givudde Rwanda nanyaga. By the time we buried the Rwanda corpses, there was more than 500. Enyanja ijudde emirambo Museveni because Museveni reasons him when after panic.
Omukulu
kakati nkubuulira.
Yes,
n'enzige bwe zaali. Enzige were defeated by General Kavuma with the soldiers using a bomber.
Okufuuyira bazifuuyira.
Where did Lwamirama take that $3 million? One day he will pay. One day Lwamirama will pay. A date might become a melody, but it never decays. Nti era twali ndolina atatubanja ne bajja sempijja bajja bakimanyo sente bwatwala bwakimanya emititi bwatwala. They sent a team to study enzige in Kenya. A team, whether they are green, whether they are yellow, whether they are red. They see COVID natta abantu ku oxygen n'abamalawo. When they knew that sentence where they are enormous. We know omanyi omusajja omu yali amanyi when we use abaganda baga nti gonde kigwange mumbwa nga yakimanyi. The man had mastered the way his woman plays the national anthem. Kati bwagenda mu loogi naye yali agenze kuwenda agenda okulya nga sitireewo eri mu lujumu eddako yeewuwe eggono nga lyewuwe. Sajja kyava abaga nti open that door. Bwe bagaana mu lukuba enjaddu saso era mukazi we gwe yasangamu. That's why for us who know the security we look at the hallmarks. Nti I know these international organizations, what have we done to Islamic State to warrant an attack on us?
Why?
Are we the only people who accommodated the weak handed down by the Taliban?
No.
If Uganda can be targeted for hosting a few, because many of them were chased away by this Minister of Gender, men are sharpening. Why don't women also sharpen?
Tukyalinayo ensonga eno ya paaka ojja kuba ogitubuuliramuko.
Uganda is condemned.
N'ensonga eno ey'empuuta ekyali nkulu nnyo.
An idiot comes in Uganda, talks to Parliament, and he says, Odicity. Being idiot is okay, but plus arrogance. A negative times a negative, you get a plus. An idiot comes from Philippines. Philippines is not one of the Asian tigers.
Yes.
It was bashed by the natives should not eat emputa. Why?
I want to know what you're going to cook.
Do you feed it to your dogs, Mr. Filipino? Do you? And he goes away. No,
yagambye nti ensonga y'empuuta ayina ensonga.
Emputa was brought by Obote. Why don't you develop emputa? You are highly developed. Like an idiot plus stupidity plus ignorance plus arrogance. A negative times a negative, you get a plus. This man to have the audacity to talk in our parliament that emputa was manufactured not by God.
Yes.
Obote brought emputa.
Yes.
And you don't know what you don't know.
Agamba bwati.
Chemutamanyi.
Yes.
Emputa baganda bagiyita mputa lwaki. Kuuta byennyanja birimu. To swallow. And swallow the sea. Another name of emputa is Sabulenya. Obote's mother was Sabulenya. To abuse Obote, timama we munene nnyo. Emputa bagire. Obote brought emputa. Input is not an originality. An idiot. An idiot with a bullet. Enough in a person with a bullet must have wisdom. An idiot. Another guy. A thief. A con man. Why? Anti Nunibajiba. Nebatabavubi kunyanja. Nebaba vubi. Hey, can you kill your wife? Ekanisa nemutesa byakola. Mutesa alaba omusajja mulira nga alina omukazi mulungi. Namuyita mu lubiri namulemera. Nagenda mu koti mulira namwabira nebaka kabaka tawabira Mutesa. Nabiri namirembe. Kakati kyenkubuuza. Can we say that because milk comes from Nyankole, in order to have cheap milk, the Nyankole should not drink their milk? That because cows farm a burden stupid Filipino who comes from a failed state gets the audacity in Uganda because we are banana state. Starve the natives. You would be hunted. You get another Muslim. A boer from South Africa. You get a boer from South Africa. They printed their leaders in MTA. None was a Ugandan. Is stealing money from raising money. And at the same time you are killing a national security fund. If a national security fund invests in money according to the demand, how can you tell them to where will they invest the money? A boer comes here and controls the state as if it's South Africa. Mr. MTN, we are not seeing a Mzungu for the first time. And Ugandans have never been impressed by a Mzungu. Why? All the time of political terms have gone through, we have never seen a Mzungu liberator, a Mzungu peacekeeper. In fact, Ugandans hate Bazungu. When you talk about foreign intervention, this is the problem of Messi and Zimbabwe, invoking foreigners. We used to see these foreigners running away during the time of political turmoil. What about Bobby Assos, who guided Idi Amin? Murderers. The British maintained an advanced British military training team alongside the North Korean commandos and the Tanzanian advancing team to train your British army that were killing people in the world. In fact, the Thatcher government had a directive that in any time of several lands at the end of the airports or ports would be arrested and handed over to Obote. When Mutesa fled to Britain, they told him, recognize Obote's government. He died a pauper because he was denied the political asylum. Why do you invoke our memory? When Uganda see emuzungu ebbuwa
twetaaga
who wants to grab their money
agafuga ebizinesi eyo.
tomorrow you come tell us where you are going to invest our money Mr. Bua you tell us
tenkubuuza
kakati mwe bakamba
tetwetaaga mateeka
anti nkubuulira nti ensi yaggwamu ssente omuzungu ono gwe naleeta wandimulwanirira
yes twamulaba.
I don't know whether Nabasa has seen a critique from a British lawyer has dismissed the Ugandan judiciary with contempt. I'm going to publish a book with the Nabasa's judgment and a critique from Britain. And the man has said that we follow almost the same law. It will embarrass the Ugandan judiciary. As I observed that they wanted to sell the money's property, this is what the conclusion, and I'm not a lawyer. Kakati kambagalia transport. How can a general, an aide of the president, write to Kampala State Council to say that these people should not unite, taxi drivers should not unite? That's what I told you. Until there is a stupid, but we are lucky that this minister, because has been an activist in Kampala,
Yeah.
Chisaka has been paying. She has 600 million monthly to maintain the markets. But at the same time, this woman has been raising money. Kitegeza sente Kisaka does Kisaka. Are you more important than Musisi? If I believe it, I will defeat you.
Yes, sir.
Negama into Silva Kisaka. Where Kisaka has made a problem. Kanuko Kanduka, Dorko Minister Kafira Kalakadu Kubani Yakare. Nabagamba soma
okuva
baganze mbiteeka musoma
ntandikira for example
wane
wasooka a fool is described as a person who does the same thing again and again expecting different results. After reading the above presentation and submission, I now knew to go to the title of the book, Kampala City. The foolish spirit syndrome tells us that a fool is a person who does the same thing over again, expecting different results. That is why I conclude by saying the minister of Kampala have a fool's spirit hanging around in their office. Like any other fool, they are repeating the same things, expecting results. Kano kaliwo
Kisaka byekola none byekola kubamu Kisaka spends 600. I can prove to you this is the president.
kakati kusinzira ku
omukazi n'ababbira sente
okusinzira
yabugoba mbabusoloza ye Kisaka naze kuba munika
okusinzira ku
yugo Kisaka challenge me in a court of law be nkukuba duke
okusinzira ku kino kyosomye kiki ekiremeseza paaka okugulwa
anti kyenkubuulira they targeted the transport. When Bobi Wine denied the security money to finance tear gas and the violent activities, they have moved to transport, and they will also move to schools. Prepare, the government must spend money on preventive measures. You must have security measures at Park Station.
Yes.
They made sure that they ensured that a strong organization that will fight these terrorists has been frustrated by Narweso and this woman, Kisaka. Narweso writes a letter, in general. Where do we have any demonstrated the importance of unity? When the taxi drivers are coming together, why should the security person an aide of the president? No, naye Museveni bamubye Museveni bamutera
paaka eno kikyagiremeseza ye toilet tenabakugwa ekyokubiri tenaba kugwa bulungi toilet eno ekyokubiri tubanga bakufuna bukulembeze mu paaka oba paaka eno empya.
How can you say that you want your daughter to produce a grandson or daughter when he is married to an important man?
Ani
Anti kugambye their intention would be to organize a stronger tax organization.
Okay.
But in that way, so comes up, all of effort are directed to undermine the formation. naye Museveni bamubye nnyo bamunda naye mukiyiwe bakakwatire nalweyiso nga tebakyasobola nagoba mbaata babuulidde mukiyiwe fe tubatunuulidde babakwatire ono mujja kunnyonnyola leka nkusomere ebya takisi kana akatabo nakawandiika ddi
19 July 2012
kati kankusomere decongestion of Kampala. The real intention was to grab Utoda money. If we wanted to decongest Kampala, we would have done what other countries have done. In Kenya, taxi drivers were given a 5-year grace period. The government imposed a ban on the importation of omnibuses. Kenya will not accept omnibuses in the next 5 years. Nobody, therefore, can import a minibus into the country, Kenya, for taxi business. Why didn't Musisi, all these people, onatamanyina kusanirira nviri Kisaka baba n'abalenzi be bali mutuma when some names resemble their owners minibus into the country for business. The intention was not to decongest the city, but to grab Utoda money. I was invited to Nairobi. The taxi drive, the first 14 seaters, we are given a grace period of 5 years. As we talk today, there are no Kamunyas in Kenya. No. But here, you don't stop with the Oswani license border. PSV. How can a motorcycle have a PSV? Passenger service vehicle. Minister wa transport nengalabiye a motorcycle is an illegality. Tewalina uli muntu wakwata. Motorcycle has obligations if you did the transport. One, a motorcycle, any woman to sit on a motorcycle must be dressed in jeans.
Yeah, true.
A motorcycle must have light.
True.
All the time. One, to know that when a trailer man is driving, he must know that this is a moving, a motorized. Kubaha Kisaka. Never bakwatira wano.
Okay.
Kisaka bajja bakwatira wano.
Okay.
Temujja kudduka. Kakati kankubuuze. Wait. Otegedde. Whatever they are doing in Uganda is not to decongest the city. In fact, one of the ways of decongesting the city is the flyovers.
Yeah.
So if you are having flyovers and the trains, then it means you are going to create more space. No, you won't know. Obwongo bwange n'olaba empuuta Museveni yasinza baminisita abasiru mu Africa batekinika and they have flat-rated all efforts have been done to flat-rate the military kubanga abamajje wa bank baganye kakati yowa pipeline there is a big group climate change simanyi bani baganye pipeline wa bank. This is what exactly they did when we are having a new dam. I will read you next time. Era bamale bawa sente babawe dine gwanga we are going to have to be the sick man of East Africa.
Ensonga ya transport.
Wait. This means what they did in 2014 is what exactly they are doing now. The Kisakas Gogam. This means that no importation, according to the Kenyan directive, nobody could import a Kamunye for tax business 5 years. They will lead to cannibalization and you cannot bring it. They will disappear in 5 years.
Okay.
This means, according to the Kenyans, who wanted to decongest, when we are akafera akalala, akafera akagufu, akasuma akagufu. This means that no importation of spare parts and you give the tax operators time to gradually phase out. Since Musisi and the Kisaka, you replace Musisi with the Kisaka, have fallen into the hands of the steering group, she just gave an ultimatum. Why not buy? I even gave an example. I'm buying these coming years, my own money, my own resources. I started a business where I'm buying ram shackles. I will sell them to Uganda in the future.
Okay.
In 2014, I'm suggesting means of decongesting Kampala. Give a ban of a grace period because these people acquire the loans.
Yeah. Ogula kamunyi.
Kisaka. mujja kudduka
batekamu sente
omukazi alimu obwino bwayawulira mu basajja bwabakuba padis wanudde they'll catch you bwe bali kukwatira wano nga todduse oli buulira bausanze mu kabuli enkuba gye bakubanakalema abajoza enseena abaginiedde ku mutwe nkugamba olaba nalabye case I saw somebody when they are talking about this case mubuze Kalugiri I think Kalugiri reported to the president I saw a man an arrogant man shedding a tear he is a Mirundi I'm not the one ntwi push ya basend nikamwenda omwana nikazibayo kati you in trouble and once you commit an offense that attracts foreign attention nababulira nembaga nti one way of solving this organic case let the government announce that it has discovered that people are being killed by doctors in Bundi hospitals institute a commission of inquiry because ICC cannot intervene in a local tribunal. ICC intervenes when it is impunity. Basalawo kakati mutembo abatembi tuyina ekibinja ky'abatembi mulimu ba minister abate ba dokita b'emulago batemba aberukazi batemba abemasaka batemba 63 surgeons of Uganda batembi all of the hospital they frustrated Museveni's efforts to bring Cubans batira abantu malwali kati mutemba at one time 18 women were dying every waliwo ekiwaga ekyagala tubiba
ensonga ya transport
wait nkugamba nti I'm buying which I proposed in 2014 I'm buying these Ramushakos and those are willing to sell their vehicles who don't make it. Why not buy these Kamunyes which I'm doing and sell them to steel mills like Uguma?
Okay.
The taxi industry was and is wide and bigger than what Musisi Ochisaka is doing and in Narweso. The importers of Kamunyes are still importing, unlike in Kenya where they cannot, for there is no future for Kamunye. And the government made it, the government of Kenya, because they wanted to solve a problem, these are civils, made it abundantly clear to Kenyans. The Kamunye industry does not stop at drivers and owners who are fighting for money. Kisaka na parade nalabya kakaza kaino Christian katika ina kalingo gun Chisaka tell those people to produce their cards baina motoka mmeka nabaga nti motoka eziri mu Kampala baina motoka ezikola taxi mu Kampala tezusuka 10
so motoka ezo zigulwe company
is not a sort that is found everywhere.
Yes, true. Ogamba nti zigulwe company
run a taxi industry emipira bajiba biki fetuliva gumunyu have been in the taxi industry for the last 20 years.
Yes.
Toyinza kunzanyisa nze mbimanyi UTC yagwa wikemi mwatubu tumujja kutuba nolwiso ojja kudduka nkubulidde omuzanzajira mu taxi kubanga kakati ababbi babadde basigaziza boda zokka. That's why they are coming up to terrorize transport. Kati abantu bagenda kutambula fuel tejja ku consumption ejja kugwa. That's what they do. And nkugamba the Kamunya industry does not stop at drivers as Kisaka wants us to believe and in that way. So the owners, what about the owners? You call the taxi drivers is idiotic. If you meet 400 drivers, can you have drivers now transporting? No, it was service to come in our those are you know Kisakabe Musinka and Tewari to jail Kadisa Motoka. Bakasimo to jail Kadisa Moto. Let us prove everybody should bring his vehicles in a Kadisa. Tebaina Motoka Zamukamu. Bagateka Ubutes. How can a taxi driver no owner? Ngemotoka gula milioni chinana. Nakuba mainje motoka. Do you think it is easy?
Tugenda kwa tumula mukatono munafalaba. Tuchali mukuru Tamale Mirundi akanyonyedera tumula katono tukomawo watali wensonga. Ekwata ku misango gibekolonga. N'ensonga ekwata ku Sudani.
Bave mu taxi abantu